What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna jump right into this one and just try to get, try to give it to you exactly as I see it. Number one, I was watching some of the other creators' videos that was responding today to the dev note that was released about the Multiverse Saga, and it's clear that probably veterans and new players alike are not feeling the content that's basically been released. And I want to talk about a specific take that was here. I don't normally do like reaction type videos, but I feel like this one warranted it. And I'm gonna try to maintain my cool inside this because I don't mean any kind of vitriol to this developer, this creator, or anything like that. But Cynic Alex put out a really take this morning, not too long after I released mine, and I was watching his video and I was like, yo, this is a terrible take. So let's take a look at this first.
Future themes. I think this is a really good thing to say. Future themes will have more content than a legendary battle, but not as heavy as an epic quest. I think that's good. And we are currently planning to release a new theme on an annual basis to provide a better story, animation, and in-game balance. We will also provide related products at a reasonable price. I think this is really good. I know some people are going to crap on this and they're going to laugh and say, oh man, $40 a year, haha, sign up, piggies, whatever. Listen, bro, if $40 a year really rattles you, I got bad news for you, brother. I got really bad news for you. If you're scary hours over $40 a year, and it actually kind of makes me sad.
So look, I don't even know what the fuck scary hours are. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, but let's talk about this really quickly, right? Let's talk about what we got and what they're talking about, what they're giving us. So the Epic Quest, when we just recently had that, when they increased the price of what the Epic Quest was from 6,000, 6,600, 6,000 gems, crystals, or whatever to 7,000 when they did the most recent one. And then when we look at a typical legendary battle or something like that, it's usually around like 20 bucks or 14 bucks or something like that. So clearly people don't have a problem with paying for money for content specifically. It's about what you're getting for that content. And that's, I think, the big thing that Cynic Alex is missing here, as you know, he's just got his lust and love for Marvel Future Fight. So let's talk about what is it that we're getting for $40 inside of here. We're not getting a whole fucking lot, right? Essentially, let's take a look at the Multiverse Saga that we got. So I cleared chapter 5. We're into stage chapter 6 and stuff inside here. I want to show you exactly what you get. So stage 1 is actually a playable mission where you either play as this chick, She-Hulk, or Thing, right? And then guess what? You play through 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, or excuse me, 5-4 until you finally get to another playable mission. Like, this is literally just a skip mission. You see this? It's just Thing on the screen, the same way we normally see him during a story, the same way we normally see during an epic quest, the same way we normally see during a legendary battle. It's nothing. And then we get to like 5-5. So let's take a look at what 5-5 actually says. So now here you have the battle tip inside here where you're gonna fight Hulk as either She-Hulk or Thing, and you're gonna basically use one of their skills in order to stop the recovery effect of Hulk, basically. So let's take a look at that really quickly. So it's the same shit that we normally see. It's not done any better or any, like, these character models have not improved over the almost decade that this game has been out. Like, have we had a revitalization or something like it was Black Desert Online and they've gone through a remaster or something like that? No. It's not like these stages haven't been used before, and it's not like these characters haven't been used before, right? So I'm basically playing as the same goddamn character that I would normally play inside of the game, and that's it. Like, this is it. This is the gameplay. Hey, I gotta stop Hulk from leveling up. I just press my one skill so that way he doesn't continue doing whatever it is that he wants to do, like in terms of his HP. It's a new mechanic that they've introduced in the battle where they finally caught up to other people and understand, like, hey, if I want to make this replayable value for the players, then I need to basically make it some way so that way they know, like, this is ridiculous. So look, now it's like, hey, switch to She-Hulk and use her. But no, switch out to Thing so that way I can use his. I don't have a real reason to switch out to Thing or to She-Hulk. I just can power through this with Hulk. With a Thing, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. Like, yeah, I can basically, like, say he's weakened now and I can use, oh, Thing is inside here. Guess what? I never really have to switch out from Thing to Hulk at all. This is the gameplay loop that we normally play inside of story mode or any type of game mode. Like, there's no real reason for me to switch out other than my participation in this half-baked ass system that they've essentially created for me to basically play. Like, I can promise you, I've done this without having to switch to She-Hulk at all. So I'm literally playing content that they have basically put in front of me that is basically repackaged goods. It's the same content that I have played over and over again inside Marvel Future Fight. It's indicative of content that's inside of Legendary. It's in content that's inside of Epic Quest. It's content that's included in story mode. They haven't introduced anything. They just repackaged it to you. And that repackage is essentially done in order to sell you on purchasing this new system that they've basically pushed into the game. I don't like this notion that Cynic Alex has put forward where it's like, well, I don't want you guys to be short-sighted because it's the idea that they still have content planned for next year. They're going to release content on an annual basis. That means they're thinking forward. When we went through the hellscape that was Marvel Future Revolution, and the devs were in this same mindset that they could just throw whatever the fuck they wanted to at us, regardless of whether it was trash, they were in the stages of planning future content. They were talking about Wolverine, and they were talking to us about the things to come after Wolverine update. And then we got to the Wolverine update and it was trash. And then they basically, in the month of September, October, was like, yeah, the game's done. Every game is planning something with the intention that, you know, they're going to continue to make money because people are still employed. But that doesn't mean that, you know what, tomorrow, because they've failed at delivering something that the players really wanted to be excited about, that we don't get what we are. The other thing is, what are you paying for? And this is the thing that I really missed on Cynic Alex specifically, and what kind of upset me, is that he was asking for the players to see through to the future that they were planning content or whatever, and that was a good thing. And like, no, that's not a good thing. The point isn't about whether or not $40 is a lot for me now. The point is about whether $40 is worth the investment. Now, I'll admit freely, for instance, that there are a lot of players who are going to have more access to phones than they are going to have access to PCs or to consoles, so that way they can play games. However, I'm going to show you some comparative pricing here, specifically for some games, for what you can get for $40. If you were to play Helldivers 2 right now for $40, could you compare the content and the game that they've put out for Helldivers 2 to this fucking content that they're trying to sell you for $40 here? No, you could not. There's no way, shape, or hell. Destiny has just released the final shape, and that expansion really only cost you $50 for another $10. Does that content and that expansion that those people have put in for this compared to the fucking content that's put inside Marvel Future that they want you to pay $40? Fuck no. They've just copied and pasted and repackaged and resold you something. It's not like they've added any new environments, any new stages, any new additions onto the character models, any better animations, any VFXs or anything. No, they're basically selling you on some shit that's not even comparable to other games that could be purchased for $40. Fallout 76, Ghost of Tsushima. You could go down this list on Steam's list of games, and these are games probably that I really like or whatever, but you can go down a list of these games and look at what you could get for $40 comparatively to what they're trying to sell you on for $40 in this game. The short-sightedness of most gamers is that they get so invested in the games that they're playing that they don't understand how their dollars that they are spending are affecting the greater development gaming landscape. So if I spend $40 on this piece of shit content right here that they just put me out, what I'm basically saying to the producers, the publishers of these games, is that I'm willing to accept the bare minimum, because this is the bare minimum. That fight is no different than me going inside of Epic Quest, for instance. I can go inside Epic Quest and I could play that same exact level of content to that degree and get that content. Like, it's just that. I can go inside Legendary Battle and I could play that same type of content in Legendary Battle. It's the same type of content. It's just repackaged and resold to me for $40. And I can compare the $40 value of something to $40 of value inside of another game, or basically saying I'm going to pay for a full-on game. And that's the part. is that if I'm paying for this now on mobile landscapes, and we've seen now that mobile gaming is starting to make its way onto consoles, it's starting to make its way onto tablets. It's always been on tablets, but it's starting to make its way in other form factors, whether it's PCs or whatever. Like a perfect example of this would be Solo Leveling Arise, for instance, right? Solo Leveling Arise has basically released their game, and guess what? This game looks way better than Marvel Future Fight. Way better than Marvel Future Fight. And the content that you have inside these game modes are there. They're about to release the brilliant Workshop of Brilliant Light, which is basically you battling the one of the bosses from the manhwa, which is currently inside of one of the game modes. So you've got him right here. The Avarice of Vulcan is basically in here. You can play him, and the game looks absolutely fantastic. Now they're releasing this in the Workshop of Brilliant Light, which accesses me the ability to get to more content that's going to level up my characters and put them at a farther pace. But do they sell me the fucking Workshop of Brilliant Light? Do they sell me this? That's the point. Do they sell me the Workshop of Brilliant Light? No, they don't. They just basically release it because that's content that keeps me coming back to the game, that then makes me want to say, hey, I'm playing content, and this content is going to basically enable the players to want to level up their characters higher to complete these stages, and I'm going to increase the skill level of what this content is required, whether I'm powering up the bosses, whether I am powering up their mechanics or whatever. I'm going to make it something that it feels good being replayed value inside here. That's content development. What we've got from this update from Marvel Future Fight, is not that. It's not that. This is not upgraded content, and that's where like the drawing point sticks for me. Is that it'd be one thing if what they were selling us was worth the $40, but it ain't. This goes back to the days when people complained about the Ultimates pricing, when they were trying to sell your character in the Ultimates, and it's still the same thing. Why are we trying to sell me a Transcendence character who is not in the place to be used for in-game level content, which requires you to have tier 4 characters at the price that he is, and it's only a 6-star? And then you're trying to sell me crystals, and then the main sole purpose of this update is to sell you a skip wait time, sell you on the ability to skip a gated system, sell you on the ability for you to invest in a system for which you will then have to go into another system to actually invest actual money into, to basically randomize your gacha purchases on getting and collecting these items to receive account-wide boost. I'm paying $40 to pay on your, that's like going to the casino and paying to get in and then being asked to spend more money while I'm inside the casino to actually play. No, they don't charge me to get into the casino. I'm allowed to come into the casino because they want my money in the casino. You don't charge me money to come in and have fun. I'm coming in and I'm having fun when I spend my money in here. So this content should have been released, and I should have been jumped in to want to play it because it's new content that's exciting, challenging, or whatever it is that you want to. And then I spend my money on this shit to improve my account, to improve my experience, to improve my efficiency, to improve all these other things at my discretion. But paying for access to something that then requires me to spend money for something that you've just repurposed and repackaged from someplace else does not make sense, and it sets a bad precedence in gaming when a studio is able to push out bullshit like this, and then you end up with the landscape of looking at other publishers who are doing far more work and putting in far more efforts to deliver to you something that is worth your $40. You could not compare Destiny, you could not compare any of these type of expansion level games to what the hell this content is. It's not about whether $40 is scary hour to the gaming base of Marvel Future Fight. It's about whether or not this $40 is worth what they've put in. And this is bullshit. if you're going to tell me that this is what they're going to release on an annual basis to keep the players around, then guess what? The game is failing, because this is not content. This is not content. This is not enthralling. This is not intriguing. There's nothing about this that makes me want to say I want to stay on board for annual releases of this bullshit. This isn't like, that is a failed fucking argument. If you believe that this is actual content, then that's scary hour. Let me tell you guys, if this represents what their plan is for the next year and year after, is this annual basis of this type of content, that's scary hour, guys. That is fucking scary hour. That is fucking scary hour, that there are people who actually believes this is fucking content and this is enjoyable. Because once you complete this within the first 5 to 7 days, or the first day, if you just paid the $40 to skip all of this, guess what? All you're doing with this shit at the end of the day is skipping and clearing it, and there's no more there to play. You're just skipping and clearing it. That's it. No. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I thought it was an extremely bad take by Cynic Alex. I thought it was terribly short-sighted in terms of what spending $40 on this turd shit that they basically released and tried to call content to us, which was just repackaged and repurposed goods, even by their own admission that this was just basically bullshit that they basically gave to us. And it seems like the majority of the player base, veteran and freaking new alike, is not in agreement that this content is worth the $40 that they're asking to spend. Now, you know, I don't think I'm spending the money on this. This is, like I said, I've gone free to play with Marvel Future Fight mostly because of the fact that I think what they have been releasing in the past year has been total shit turd, in my opinion. The tier 4s are lackluster. The whole idea of the tier 4 was lackluster and extremely underwhelming. We get some updates and stuff like that here and there that feel like gets me really excited because of just characters and costumes and versions that I'm really excited for. But this ain't it. If the plan for this is that we're basically waiting for a new content model going into next year, and this is it, that's not new content. Introducing something like Danger Room is new content. You know, like Danger Room was something that was in the game that they took away that I really enjoyed. When Danger Room came, that was new content because it was a new way to play the game. Introducing something like Otherworld Battle, that's new content. Introducing this shit, this is not new content. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care how many subscribers you have, where you sit in the landscape of things in terms of being content creation and talking about this game. This is not new content, nor is it worth $40. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Until next time, guys. Peace.